Welcome to another weekly UAS news update, and this week I want to talk about 4 topics. The first one is the possibility of a new Mavic Air 2. Some pictures have been surfacing online. Another thing I want to talk about is how to find a mule using drones. This is kind of a fun one. And then I'll talk about AUVSI Xponential show that's supposed to happen in Boston. And also I'll talk about some drone law, local drone law, because I get a lot of questions from students. This is not necessarily news related, but it's really good information if you're looking at local laws for drones. So let's get started. First thing this week is, you may have seen pictures already, the Mavic Air 2 is possibly coming out around the corner, maybe in April. That's what the rumor is saying. And the Mavic Air is kind of in between the Mavic Mini and the Mavic Pro in terms of size, in terms of capabilities. And there's been some pictures online that have surfaced that show a different controller actually. It looks like the controller is a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger. I don't necessarily care for the design of it, but that's just personal. And it looks like you can actually put the tablet on top instead of at the bottom, which that actually I kind of enjoy. The sensor at the bottom, there's a bunch of sensors. It looks like that maybe there would be some ground proximity sensors like we have in the Mavic 2 series. All the sensors can look like it. And also people are saying, or speculating that maybe this is a 360-degree obstacle avoidance system. So I'll talk about this some more if I get more information in the future, but you can see the pictures right here. So let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is actually a pretty cool thing. I got a phone call earlier this week from somebody that lives in the Phoenix area and found our Pilot Institute online, and they asked me if I had any pilots down in the area that could help. And they had lost a mule, and the story behind this is that apparently they were riding the mule, they crossed a river, and when they came out on the other side, the embankment gave away, and the mule and the person actually went into the water, and the person had to get rescued, and the mule had to stay in that area. And so they called and said that it had been over a week, and they wanted to find the mule and see if drones could help. So I called one of our students down in the valley, Mark Hamilton, and he's with Drones Eye View. And I've met Mark several times in person. He's a great pilot and a great person as well. And I asked him if he could help. So he gave them a call and helped them. And so he went and flew quite a bit. And I'm not going to tell the whole story because the story is pretty cool, but Mark has a video down here that I'm going to put as a link. And please go check the video and see what Mark did. The end of the story is pretty cool. They eventually do find the mule. I'm not going to tell you how, but it's cool to see the technology being used for this kind of stuff. And Mark, thank you for doing this for the person. So I know you'll be watching this. And that's it. So go take a look at the video and see how that happened. And then if you have cool stories like this, by the way, please let me know, especially if you're a student in the course. I would love to feature anything that you do for Drones for Good. The next thing I want to talk about is AUVSI Xponential. That's a massive conference that happens every year, put on by AUVSI, which is a big group, a large group that talks about unmanned anything really, not only drones, but a lot of unmanned vehicles in general. And their conference is supposed to be happening in Boston between May 4th and May 7th. And they sent an update yesterday saying that the conference is going on. So at this stage, I haven't canceled because of the virus. It's going to be interesting. There's been several outbreaks in that area. And they're hoping that by then, by the time May comes, that the outbreak will be under control. So on the side note, I'm a runner, I'm a marathon runner, and the Boston Marathon is going on a couple of weeks before that, around April 20. And they have yet to make a decision whether or not the event is going to keep going. So based on what the Boston Marathon is going to do, I'm sure AUVSI is going to be taking a look at that because the two events are pretty close to each other. I was planning to go to AUVSI. I'm going to wait and hold off and see how this kind of turns out, the travel bans and everything. And then hopefully we can get over this coronavirus thing and move on with our lives. So let me know if you plan on being at AUVSI Xponential, and if you are, then maybe we can meet up over there if it happens. And let me know also if this coronavirus thing is affecting your business. I'm seeing online several people saying that things are slowing down, and I want to kind of get a gauge on what is going on. The last topic I want to talk about today is local drone laws. And I get questions from students on a regular basis asking, hey, my city has this regulation here. Is it legal? Is it something that I have to follow? And this and that. So I want to remind you of a couple things because this is not something that is being taught usually in ground school. This is kind of real life stuff, not test stuff. And the few things that you need to remember, the first one is the airspace can only be controlled by the FAA. So if any of these drone laws out there are going against the fact that the FAA controls the airspace, then it's likely an illegal law, which sounds kind of confusing, right? But it's not because a government put some kind of rule out there or some kind of law that it's not actually against federal law. In this case, if it controls the airspace, it is. The FAA has control of the airspace, nobody else does. The only thing that municipalities and counties and maybe states can do is they can control where you take off and land from. If you're taking off and landing from anything that is owned by a city, by a county, or by the state, then they have control over this. They can control what you do on their land. They cannot control what you do on private property, and they cannot control the airspace. So this is something that you have to remember. If you're flying at a local park, at a city-owned park, and the city decides that they don't want drones flying to and from the park, then you can't fly there. Can you fly across the street from your private property over the park as long as you maintain line of sight, as long as you don't fly over people, as long as you follow all FAA regulation? Then yes, it is absolutely legal to do. So you have to remember that part. They can only control where you take off from. They can't control the airspace above the park. Also, certain states have what's called a preemption law. Under a preemption law, there is, like in Arizona, for example, Arizona law says that no municipality, no local government can create laws that restrict the flight of UAS. In this case, if the city I live in, if Prescott decides that they don't want you taking off or landing at one of their parks, then I can go to the city and basically say, hey, there's a preemption law, you can't do that, it's actually illegal and you have to take that law out. So remember this part. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't get a ticket, okay? Go talk to the people in Genesee County, for example, in Michigan. I talked about them a couple of weeks ago. They had a person get arrested and their drone confiscated because there was supposedly some kind of regulation out there that they couldn't fly. And it turns out that they went to court. Probably was expensive, but they won. And when they won, basically the judge said, well, there's a preemption law and you can't create any regulation to restrict flight. So again, it's not because there's something in place that it's legal, but if there's something in place and it's illegal, you can still get ticketed, and then you'll have to go to court to get it removed and to get that to go against that law, basically. So just remember those few points. I think it was important to point it out because I see actually more and more news. I don't always talk about them because I think sometimes it's a little bit boring and it's very specific to a state. But for example, in Alabama recently, there was a bill that wanted to forbid drones from flying over what's called critical infrastructure. And these critical infrastructures were oil rigs and I don't remember what the other one was, but oil rigs basically. So they wanted to have that area protected so you couldn't take pictures if there was a leak, for example, or anything, then it would be against the law to do this. So the big oil industry was trying to get behind something where they can hide what they're doing. I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's not really, unfortunately. And this already exists in Texas, for example, where you can't take pictures where there's a lot of animals in a concentration. They call it concentrated animal feeding operation. And the reason this came by is because they didn't want people to see what was actually going on at some of these feeding areas. And so anyways, you got to be careful with these local laws. You have to be aware of them. You have to be aware of what the consequences are if you decide to go and fly anyway. And if you get a ticket, then you have to find an attorney that is knowledgeable in aviation law and is going to help you basically get rid of it. All right, this is all I'm going to talk about for this week. As always, please subscribe if you haven't done so. Then you get notification when I put new videos out. Also, like the video, leave a comment. Love interacting with you guys. And if not, then you'll have a great week and I'll see you next week.